So what's up everybody? Welcome back. It's Chase here again with another episode for you guys. So today I've got 2 private lessons that are gonna be on footage hopefully. And I've got Mason, who's a 14-year-old student who's been training with me now for close to about 5 years. And then I have Mitchell, who's one of my assistant instructors, and he's a blue belt underneath of us. And they've each kind of got their own goals that they want to work on. So I'm gonna get some footage of us training, but then I also kind of want to ask them a few questions about like Q&A, about some things that they enjoy about jiu-jitsu and how it's impacted them, and just some cool Q&A from other people beside myself. So with that, we'll get to the lesson today. What's up, Mason?
Nothing. It's going.
How are you?
Good.
Is it cold outside?
It's really cold.
It's pretty cold, right? Do you like it cold or warm or better?
Probably cold.
Why do you like it cold better? Is it because you secretly like the gi more than no gi, or do you like no gi better?
I think I like gi better.
You like gi better? Mm. That's a good man right there. He's a true jiu-jitsu guy. Stiff arm to give me a step, and if you try the ankle pick and for some reason it misses, you can stand back up. Yeah. Try that. Yeah. Boom. So if my legs are close like this, bring your knee onto the inside. Good. Now I'm kind of keeping you away. Go off the side. What's up? This is my student Mason. Believe it or not, because he's a little bit behind me, he's actually way taller than me. How old are you?
14.
You're 14?
Yep.
How tall are you?
6'2".
6'2". He's 14. How long have you been training jiu-jitsu for?
3 years.
3 years. So when did 3 years? So you started at 11?
Mm-hmm.
11. Why did you want to start jiu-jitsu?
I watched the UFC.
You watched the UFC?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite fighter?
Tony Ferguson.
So you like Tony Ferguson then, or
Yeah.
do you like Tony Ferguson now?
Right now, he's my favorite fighter.
So who was your favorite fighter like then? Like who are you watching when you're like, oh man, I want to go to jiu-jitsu? You were watching
Conor McGregor.
McGregor?
Yeah.
Hey, he doesn't have good jiu-jitsu though.
Yeah.
That's alright. Alright, Conor McGregor. So, but Tony Ferguson's your favorite fighter now. So do you pick him to beat Khabib?
Yeah.
You do?
I think so, yeah.
Do you think he's gonna knock him out or submission?
I think they might stop it because of the cut. Because, you know, he cuts up everybody.
You think Ferguson's gonna stop it because of a cut?
Yeah, he's
So
gonna
like
cut Khabib.
elbow?
Yeah.
He does, he cuts up a lot of people. It's good, that'll be a good fight. What are you working on right now? What is your jiu-jitsu goals?
To win a tournament.
To win a tournament? When's your tournament?
March 8th.
March 8th. It's a tournament here in Oklahoma City. It's called AGF. It's actually a nationwide tournament, but it's your first tournament, right?
First one.
First one. What's the number one thing you think jiu-jitsu has done for you? It's more particular?
I think confidence mainly.
Just being more confident?
Yeah.
Like, and confidence in like you can protect yourself, or like confidence that, you know, you're not like as afraid to do stuff,
Just
or
general confidence.
just general confidence?
You know?
Yeah.
Not worried about it.
Yeah. Fortunately, you haven't had to use jiu-jitsu in real life, right? Good. First rule of fighting, avoid the fight at all costs, right? So, good job, Mason. Thank you, sir. Good work. So, sometimes these things happen. My student, Mitchell, showed up late. Actually, it's like 15 minutes late. Oh, he's gonna get some extra chokes. Well, look who decided to show up.
Right on time.
Man, right on time. The great Mitchell.
Here, and you're standing.
100%, 100%.
Right.
Yep.
Here.
And then I come around and then grab my pants down. Because what happens is if you don't grab my pant, I can possibly like shift my weight back. But when you grab my pant, it's hard for me to do that, and it like loads me. Yeah. See that right there? Yeah. Here, and let's say you get this, maybe loop this over my head right here. Loop your arm over my head, I'm sorry. So you're here, but I clear that, right? So now you're basically into the T position from here. If my hand goes to the ground, theoretically you could step over my head and go right to the top, right? Nice. What's up? Chase here, this is my student Mitchell. So we just finished up doing a private lesson. you want to tell them what we covered, or you want to keep it a secret?
It's a secret until it's posted. So.
It's a secret till it's posted.
Catch you on the mat.
So you're a blue belt. How long have you been training for?
3 years as of Tuesday.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, congratulations.
I had my anniversary.
3 years, where was I? Believe it or not, after 3 years of training, I was barely a blue belt. So the first 2 years I did jiu-jitsu, I started jiu-jitsu at 18. So I kind of like goofed around, and at 18, I don't know if you remember when you were 18, but it was like jiu-jitsu, it was a priority, but it was like going out was more of a priority, right?
Yeah,
Other stuff was more.
absolutely.
Yeah, so I kind of goofed around, but around my 2-year mark, that's when Ty asked me to kind of become an instructor. 3rd year, I was like a fairly newer blue belt, because it took me like 2 years to get my blue belt. That's something that, like you guys, it takes everyone here like a year now.
Yeah, but the process changed.
It does change.
It's a lot different than probably what it was.
Yeah, back then it was like show up and get choked out, and you're kind of like a sicko, because you like kind of kept showing up just to get your butt kicked.
Oh yeah.
And then you're like, I'm gonna come back again. And you've got some kids that train.
Yeah.
So are you happy more that you train, or are you happy more that your kids train?
Nah, I love to watch the kids.
You like the kids
oh,
train?
Yeah. That's why I started. I have 3 boys, right? I already have 2 that are training. But my oldest boy and I we started at the same time. We signed up the same day.
Same day?
And so it was one of those processes that, hey, it was good for him. I knew it'd be good for him. And, I've always wanted to. It was one of my aspirations. I never took the time. And, finances, it's like, where there's a will, there's a way, right? And I wish I would have started when I was younger. I grew up watching the UFC. That was my thing. But never really had, the ability to be able to do it. And
Kids, have you seen, and I know they're young, but have you seen anything like when they do jiu-jitsu that you think that it has really impacted them while they've been young? Is there something that you see that they do in jiu-jitsu class that carries over at home, or are they still a little young for that now?
No, actually, I see it in my oldest.
Your oldest?
It's the way he interacts with other kids.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't say aged him, but his maturity level shot up pretty quick because he realized that there's expectations, there's consequences in life, and it allows him to think about situations that he normally wouldn't think about.
Sure.
Right? He was having some problems on the bus early, when he first started school, and those went away.
Oh, nice.
Did, yeah.
Okay.
So it's just the confidence that you walk in, you have a different demeanor, the way you hold yourself and carry yourself in day-to-day.
That's the biggest thing I think with kids, is especially because a lot of parents, sometimes they think that because we're teaching them how to literally strangle each other to death, that's what's going to happen. But I think because a kid is just more confident from doing the art that they could do that,
right.
The other kids pick up on it.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like you're not the weakest one in the wild anymore. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
We're all animals. We pick up on that. For you, what is the biggest thing for you as an adult training? Has anything impacted you in jiu-jitsu?
I kind of I did a 2-week trial early. I mean, 10 plus years ago.
That's right, you did
when
that.
we were at the other building,
Yep.
right? So I actually injured my back. I had a couple of herniated discs, and I used that as an excuse to not come back, basically. And it was because, I'm having these lower back pains and all that. Come to find out, I finally got to the point where, hey, my oldest son's starting, and number 2, I felt like, maybe I could give it a try if I'm easy with it. Come to find out, by training it, strengthened my core enough that the pain actually went away. A lot of it went away and subsided, to where by training, it helped alleviate more pain than what I was having beforehand. And so by using that as an excuse, it kind of alleviated the excuse, because it's training helped me strengthen my core, it helped me strengthen my back where I was having the problems, the stretching that we, do just from the drilling and everything else. It's not and all the techniques you teach us, like when we're gonna, do a break fall or something, right? It's how do I land properly, right? So I protect my back. A lot of those moves, I know Ty is really sensitive to that. So he always gives us those details to make sure you protect yourself on the mat, so we can make sure we can train well into our 70s. A lot of that
Start
makes a
now as a white belt or a blue belt
absolutely.
versus, when you learn from his mistakes when he was a brown belt, he was already all beat up, So, all right, man. Well, thanks for the talk. I appreciate it. Thank you, sir. All right, come see us and train. You guys, that's the end of this episode. You guys got to see me teach a little jiu-jitsu, got to hear a little bit from a few of my students. I think jiu-jitsu is so cool because it's got so many unique experiences and returns for each person and their own individual kind of mindset and what they need. You know, I had anything from like a 14-year-old student who had been training since he was a kid. You know, you kind of got to hear his experiences and things that he found beneficial from jiu-jitsu. And then you got to hear from a full-grown, you know, adult and a business guy who, you know, jiu-jitsu is not his life, but he practices it very frequently. And he has his kids involved in it. Really cool to hear his experience of how he thought jiu-jitsu, you know, impacted his kid, and, you know, they want to do it together, and it's a bonding thing. It's a really unique thing that I've seen with a lot of people that train jiu-jitsu with their kid, being in close contact and sharing a feeling of like connection to each other. It's like a hug. You know, most people, you know, when they're having a bad day or something, they need a hug from a person that they really care about. And jiu-jitsu just does that, you know. There's already a cool connection most of the time between a parent and their child. And then when you get them together, like playing jiu-jitsu games and, you know, throwing each other around, it just builds a stronger bond and connection, in my opinion, and from my experiences. I want to thank, last thing, I want to thank all of you guys that have been watching and subscribing and sharing my videos. An interesting project. I've really never been a big person to talk even in front of a camera. It's weird to do. Not even just talking in front of a camera, but kind of putting yourself out there. Kind of the first ever video editing or projects or kind of photography based things I've ever done. Appreciate you hanging in there with me and watching, you know, hopefully my skills getting better. When you kind of do these videos, you kind of have to think about them in like a story. Build a story like that is new for me, you know, but it's always something I've kind of wanted to do and I've wanted to expand on before. So hopefully I can keep doing that for you guys. So I appreciate all you guys that have tuned in. Please like and subscribe down below. I would love any kind of feedback you guys have. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you guys for watching. See ya.